And you'd think out here, you know, there's been water in this thing for, I don't know, 80 years, close to 80 years now. 550 some odd miles of shoreline out here, so you'd think there'd be a tree, but no. A few bushes, a few willows out here, that's about it. Not even very many of those.
The sky with no clouds. The heat was hot and the ground was dry, but the air was full of sound. I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert.
Yeah, they used to run Pony Express mail through this big basin out here. They'd run it from Los Angeles to Salt Lake City through here. They'd take those riders, you know, once they got over into this basin here, they could go to Salt Lake, and it'd take about 10 days, about 450 miles up there.
After 2 days in the desert sun, my skin began to turn red. After 3 days in the desert fun, I was looking at a riverbed, and the story it told of a river that flowed made me sad to think it was dead. You see, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the
big basin that goes up through here, the arm of the lake that runs up there, that's called the Overton Arm, and that's the largest arm of Lake Mead here to the left. That thing runs up there about 18 miles. That's where the Virgin River and the Muddy River out of Utah run in up there. They're really small rivers, so you know, they do give us a little bit of water, but most of the time in the summer, those things go dry, so you know, it doesn't feed the lake all the time. All our water really comes from the Colorado River up here. We'll see where it dumps in here in a minute. What's that? Want to go down? Yeah, we can. This route out here, when we come back, it's a lot different. We're kind of on our own, but the route going out, this is a designated altitude that the FAA has made all the aircraft fly at. So.
Sand and hills and rain. The ocean is underground and the perfect disguise above. Under the cities lies a heart made of brown, but the humans will give no love. You see, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain. La, 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 la.
And this little marina out here to the right front, it's called Temple Bar. It's about an hour drive from Vegas out here, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. People come out this way, though, to actually do a little fishing. They can rent boats and all that out here. They say it's a little bit better fishing out here. I haven't been fishing out here yet, so I couldn't tell you for sure. A buddy of mine, though, caught a 17-pound striper out here in this lake. Yeah, I mean, it's not huge. Well, not according to some of the people I take out here. You know, but, you know, fishing stories, you know, first liar never has a chance, right? I had a guy from Georgia that went with me here about a month ago, and I told him that, you know, the friend of mine caught a 17-pounder, and he goes, that's nothing. He says, we use that size for bait where I fish. So, you know, it is, you always get caught when you tell the first fish story. But this place out here, little RV park, there's a little motel down there. There's a little restaurant. Not too bad a place. You see all the erosion going on out here in the desert. You know, you see these big erosion patterns everywhere, and it makes it look like, you know, we get a lot of rain out here to cause all that erosion. No, we don't. We get about 4 to 5 inches a year out here. Not much, but when we get it, you know, we get it all at one time in the monsoon season. We'll get a couple cloud bursts out here, and, you know, the desert can't soak it in when it comes down like that, so it just runs off, and then that's what we end up with, all those big washes you see out here. out here in the desert, you see how sandy it is and all these sediment layers through the hills and all that. Scientists actually say everything out here is sediment from the Grand Canyon. They say it's 1,000 to 2,000 feet thick out through here. It goes for hundreds of miles around here. Of course, you know, it's taken millions and millions of years for all this stuff to be washed out here and for the Grand Canyon to be formed out there, which is kind of hard for us to imagine that kind of thing. You know, we're on the planet for, I don't know, 100 years if we're lucky. That's a drop in the bucket, you know, when you're talking about the age of the Grand Canyon out there. They actually used to say that the Grand Canyon was hundreds of millions of years old, but a study came out here about 2 years ago, and it said that most scientists nowadays say the Grand Canyon is relatively young, you know, according to Earth time. It's only 4 to 6 million years old, they say. I thought about that, thought, who cares? We don't know the difference anyway. Whether it's 4 million, 400 million, I don't know. It's an old place, so it does kind of put things in perspective for you when you get out in there and look around.
Time, why you punish me like a wave crashing into the shore? You wash away my dreams. Time, why you walk away like a friend with somewhere to go? You left me crying. Can you teach me about tomorrow and all the pain and sorrow running free? 'Cause tomorrow's just another day, and I don't believe in time.
Last little body of water up here you see, that's the Great Basin. That's the very smallest part of Lake Mead, but it is where the Colorado River runs in. You can start seeing some of that muddy water from the Colorado filtering into the north end of the lake up here.
Maybe their mothers won't cry tonight. Can you teach me about tomorrow and all the pain and sorrow running free? 'Cause tomorrow's just another day, and I don't believe in time wasted and walking. You ain't no friend.
You know, one thing that made me a pretty big believer, you know, in the sediment theory and that, you know, all this stuff is washed out here over millions of years, is that great big sandbar you see down here, sticks about halfway across the Great Basin out here to the left front. Well, that big sandbar was actually left there in 2 years, back in 1998, 1999. The Colorado River was at flood stage there for a couple of years, and once it receded back, that's what it left right there. So I kind of figured, shoot, if it could bring that much stuff out in 2 years, it'd probably bring all this other stuff out here in several million years, I'm sure. By the way, you know, that was the last time that our lake was full, too. It was after those 2 years of flooding, so it's been 16 years, 15, 16 years now since we've had water up to that high water mark out there. I think in the last 16 years, we've had 1 year that has not been considered like drought, where the lake has actually stayed the same level. They had a record snowfall up in the Rockies 1 year. That was about 4 years ago, and the level of the lake actually came up a couple of feet, but ever since then and before then, it's been receding.
The past has come and gone. The future's far away.
Yeah, if anybody likes, you know, living in remote areas, likes a little solitude, seclusion, you need to take a look at this place out here to the right front. That's called Meadview. About 1,800 people or so live out there. Closest town to that place is Kingman, Arizona, which is about 60 miles to the south down there. So Why these people live here, I don't really know. I guess, maybe they got sick and tired of living in the city. I don't know. But it's a long drive from here anywhere. What's that? Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, in the summertime, it gets really hot out here. Yeah, Grand Wash Cliffs up here. This is the very western edge of the Colorado Plateau up here. They actually end right down here to the right, but they go north a long ways. And this plateau, goes to the east hundreds of miles. Hey, and Grand Canyon cuts through the southern end of it down here.
Why you punish me?
Right down here, very end of the plateau there, you see a runway, a couple of runways, form a big X on the ground down there. That's called Pierce Ferry Airfield. I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie Thelma and Louise, but at the end of that movie, those two gals drive that car off a cliff. They filmed that scene at the end of the runway down there. They drove that car right off the end of that, right out into space. They actually filmed a lot of that movie right out here in the desert. A lot of desert scenes in that thing. Well, guys, we're going to start climbing up here, get you on top of the Grand Wash Cliffs up here. We're going to get into the mouth of the Grand Canyon, which you can see right up here to the left front. Got the Colorado River coming out of it down there. You can see a lot of that red coconino sandstone out there, way out in the upper plateau. And you can see it in the upper rings of the canyon out here. Kind of nice. It breaks it up, gives us a little color out here. Shows up pretty good this time of day because, of course, we got the sun at our back, so that's kind of nice. But the Grand Canyon, is one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. And there's a laundry list of wonders of the world. You look on the internet, but there's always only been 7 natural wonders. Something kind of interesting about the Grand Canyon here. Of the millions and millions of people that actually come and see this place, less than 20% of them ever get a chance to see it from below the rim. So you guys will get a little different perspective today. You get down in there and look back up. It does make you feel a little small, a little insignificant down in a big old place like this. This is a big place too. Right here to the left. This is where the Grand Canyon ends. This is where the river comes out. But to get to the other end of it, you'd have to go upstream from here 277 miles. Parts of it get up to about 18 miles wide and over 6,000 feet deep in quite a few spots out here. So this is a big hole in the ground. This end of the canyon down here, very, very vertical. If you were going to walk into this canyon, you'd actually have to go upstream about 50 miles, 53 miles, something like that, to get to your first walking path. Everything down here on this end all ends in a cliff. So really any way to get in and out of this canyon on this end, the only way you could do it is to fly in, or you could probably try and take a boat upriver, but if you don't know where the sandbars are, you're probably asking for trouble. you guys can see some vegetation out here in the canyon walls. Gives it that green color. Typically this time of year it's kind of yellow, but we had a very mild winter out here this winter, so nothing really went dormant. It all stayed green. So this is the color we'll see it the rest of the year out here.